Euro Aussie on the 15. We're in a triangle that's set up. So let's just find where my mouse has gone. There it is. Let's go ahead here and do the high time frame analysis on this trade. I was looking at getting long based on the, I think it was the 240. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Here on the dailies, nothing really but consolidation. We're seeing a pop here, a small pullback. Let's go to the 240. This is what I was looking at, this potential flag pattern. I'm going to draw it out with the structure lines based on the closes of the candles. And when we came down to here, it became invalid on the 240. But what we did see is a big momentum move here, and typically we tend to break out of these channels. Sometimes we double bottom. You can see we've got a retest here. You'll see that better on the 60, and then we can look for a continuation to up to at least the closes of these candles. It wasn't valid for me. It didn't tick all the rules, so I couldn't enter it, but nevertheless that is exactly what has happened. So we had the directional move, we had the market adhering to that trend line, at least on one side anyway. Here we just violated, so I couldn't enter, but you can see we had the double bottom, then we had the breakout, and with that breakout we have then had a very directional move and sideways movement. So that means I can then look for a breakout pattern. Now it isn't the easiest on the eye, this one, but nevertheless it does meet the rules. So we have our sore thumb move, our very directional pole, and if we put a structure level on so that it is on the closes of the candles like that, and here we do exactly the same on the closes of the candles. You can see at the bottom we're wedging, and at the top we are not. Now this is a triangle because the test down here at the bottom did not come to test the closes of these candles. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then we've got our fourth test is actually here. So this test technically is not the third test because it needs to go top, bottom, top, bottom. But what happened here is this test did not test the closes of these candles, so it validated the pattern for me. So no matter which way I look at this, this is a valid triangle, even with this blank space at the top. Let's just drop to the 5. And you can see that we're actually coiling here. We're getting tighter and tighter. You can actually take this on the 5, I think. Yeah, could take that on the 5. If I just bring back on the orders, because this is on the lower time frame, and we do not have a definitive structure level here to hide stops behind, I've actually gone 5 pips below the second test just down here. Standard targets on this one, even though I do believe we can go higher. Typically these breakout patterns though, when we hit that 127, we see a big retracement, sometimes all the way back to break even. So for me, most of these trades are just a 1 in, 1 out. So in terms of the risk then, we're looking at 23 and 22 for targets. Really, if you look at the amount of momentum that was in this pole and the fact that we are coiling, I would look for this similar amount of momentum to break out of this this triangle and go on to hit those targets. And we're back for the update on this triangle, and as you can see we have rallied up there to hit those targets. You could have waited for a more conservative entry, so a long test candle here. You never actually got a higher close until this point, so if you did wait for a more conservative entry, you would not have been involved in this trade because there was not enough profit in relation to the amount of risk. And this is one of those trades that just didn't come down to retest the middle or the lower level here. Typically we do tend to see that on the lower time frame. On this one we didn't, and we did rally up there to hit for 22 pips.